Welcome back to our channel. If you happen to be new here, we are Amanda and Lincoln, retired Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. We live here with our 2 daughters, our 13 rescue animals, renovate this chateau by ourselves, and display it all for YouTube to see. So we just filmed an entire segment, but weren't filming it. What were we talking about? Is ownership of your chateau worth the work involved? Do you regret becoming a chateau owner?
No, I don't regret it. Yes, it's worth it.
No, we knew what we were getting into.
We came here for the change of pace, knowing that we were going to be spending our time renovating the chateau. We're fully aware of what we were taking on.
Yeah.
It's an old place. Everything's old. So basically anything that's covered, you sort of have to assume it's not perfect under there. We went in with that expectation. It's perfectly sound structurally, nothing's going to fall down, but you know, you just go with the flow.
Owning a property like this, you just have to take your time. Don't rush things.
Right.
We're not in a hurry. Obviously, we'd like everything to be finished sooner than later.
You don't want to have to realize you have to redo something you did.
Yeah, and we also don't want it to drag on into 20 years from now. You know, we want to have a completed building and outbuildings. We've discussed eventually having someone live on the property. Just keep things up once we get things to that point where it is.
It would just be maintenance.
It would just be maintenance. You know, we're in the thick of it right now. We moved here and then COVID happened and we pretty much went, I think, 2 years without doing anything, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit of time.
It was a good amount of time because we were adjusting to living in a new country. The kids were immersed in French school.
We're still taking our time figuring out what we might want to do.
Lincoln, do you have any background in construction, electrical, or plumbing? Do you go to YouTube to get information on remodeling?
I have no background in construction. I've done some, and plumbing and electrical, but only just self-taught or worked with people that knew a little more than me.
You oversaw my mom's...
When she was redoing her house.
She redid the whole house, I guess. He was sort of there during that process.
Well, yeah. That was kind of like trial by fire or whatever. You know?
He did things in San Francisco and put in a new kitchen. But this is a whole different level, what we're doing now. We both go to YouTube for things.
Right. But also we have a guy, you've probably seen him. He's got a Kubota. He's basically done everything. He's rebuilt a couple of old stone homes in France. He's been there, done that. Trying to think, oh, what's the best way to do that? He's like, well, this is how you do it. You know, it's like obvious.
So it's good to have somebody who's worked on these old places and knows the stone and how to do these things. So we're kind of learning a lot.
Yeah.
His background was in swindling
money
people.
and finance.
Was I supposed to say that? No, finance. Yeah, finance. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Besides the kitchen, what is left to renovate inside of the chateau? The paneling in the grand salon needs to be restored and the ceiling needs a bit of work as well. The dining room project is pretty straightforward. We need to choose a paint color, get some different furniture, and there are a few repairs to be made to the ceiling. We also hope to put in a half bath beneath this center staircase. Our dressing room will be transformed into a primary bathroom. And of course, there is the kitchen and mudroom project. That's pretty much inside the chateau. It's not a huge amount, but there's a lot to do outside. Plus, we have a second cottage. It's more of a house, I would call it.
It's larger than that.
It's larger than the cottage we're working on now. And then we want to renovate the barn in front of the other house to sort of have a nice open space that will open off into the swimming pool area at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen. The orchard. And then we have this beautiful building over here that we're not sure. We haven't even thought about that yet. And then, of course, the garden is a constant work in progress. So we have a lot to do. I mean, I'm excited about all of these projects.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen overnight. So if you're expecting to see a before and after of the cottage in a couple weeks, that's not going to happen. So hopefully you'll stick around with us and
have patience.
Yeah. How much did we ship from the West Coast and the price? We shipped too much. In hindsight, I could have gotten rid of half of the crap we shipped over here.
But you just don't know.
No, you don't know. But if any of you were planning on moving overseas, just do it. You know, keep some special items and things you really need.
But, I mean, we basically had a full container, but it was a lot of stuff.
It was a lot of stuff.
And I don't
$10,000?
$12,000? I think it was
$12,000?
more than that. I think it was maybe 15,000. I can't remember.
I thought it was between $10,000 and $15,000, and they stored it for us too, and because our
they stored it for quite a while actually.
Yeah, a lot of things got ruined. They were musty. The sale of the property was delayed. So my advice: ship as little as possible. Do you have dual citizenship, and do you have to pay taxes to the U.S. government?
Every U.S. citizen has to pay tax. Sounds bad, and it is kind of, but it's most countries, France being one of them, have tax treaties, bilateral tax treaties. The income that's coming from the U.S., we get taxed by the U.S., and the income that's coming from France, we get taxed by France. It's not really a big problem. You get credits for the other stuff.
But we do have dual citizenship.
Well, I don't yet.
Yes, he doesn't yet, but it's now that we have it, it's simple for him to get his Italian citizenship.
I just had to wait until after you had yours before I could apply for mine.
Right. Is this our forever home? We'd like to think so.
I think that now, but
one never knows.
We also thought that about our house in San Francisco.
Yeah, so this, we don't know, but I was thinking, gosh, if we do ever move, how am I going to take the donkeys? Because I could not leave the donkeys. I couldn't. We don't know. We don't think about it. What are our plans for the cottage?
At first, it's just going to be extra space, family or friends.
You can have your dance parties. Yeah. Lincoln's disco night. Is my mother going to move here? Mom, what are you going to do? she
was talking about it.
She was talking about it, but she doesn't know.
Doesn't know. Yeah.
So we're just going to have the space and just leave it at that. Maybe someday down the line we'll end up renting it out. I'm going to get a margarita. We needed to make a final decision on the floors for the cottage. We had to choose wood for the bedroom-bathroom level and a tile for the main floor. So this is made in France, so it might be nice to get something made here, right?
Sure.
We just need to decide what color. And we don't want to spend an arm and a leg. I mean, this is still a project on a budget.
Right.
There's weaning. So I like this one. It's a herringbone.
It's for
herringbone.
Herringbone.
And this one's on sale. It's not a bad color. I feel like it's too orangey.
Yeah.
Between three, and I think, I don't know now. I'm kind of liking this one. I think I've changed my mind regarding the tile. We were originally going to do this one, but I don't like the variation in it. I feel it looks sort of dirty, and I think our kitchen cabinets will be gray, sort of a light gray. So we're thinking maybe this one would be a better match. It's a taupey color. It's not as mottled, but I think this slate color is too dark. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as brown as this one. Yeah, now I don't know. I don't know. They're all nice though. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I almost feel the one on top is too dark because there's not a ton of light in that room, in the kitchen. So I think the lighter the better. How come your kids never help out?
Yes, they help out, and that's the number one question that sort of annoys me in the comments. We don't film our kids, so you're never going to see them unless they want to be on camera. But they do help if we ask.
Oh yeah, they do what we ask of them. They don't resist.
Yeah, and they know how to do things. They do their own laundry. They can cook. They're actual humans that can function.
You'll have to take our word for it.
They know how to mow a lawn, and they know how to paint, use a paintbrush. But for us, right now, their job is to go to school and get good grades.
Well, at least right now, since we have all the animals, and we don't know someone that stay at our home and take care of them, that we can't, all four of us, leave overnight. Amanda and I can go away overnight, and the kids are at home, and that's fine. Three of us can go away as long as one of us is at home. There's no long-term vacations for the whole family. I mean, the coastline of Brittany is great. It's basically all coastline. So just coming to the beach, there are so many beaches, any of them. But this is the first time we've been at this one. It's just, it's awesome. It's wonderful.
Someone wanted to know, is our YouTube channel a source of income for us?
Right.
Can you make money from YouTube? Depends on how big your channel is. Probably within the last 6 months, I'd say. Things have increased a little bit because you may have noticed on our channel we have more ads. The ones that we do, the ones that we create. We signed with a management company. They basically act as the middleman, and they could negotiate us advertising deals. And it saves us a lot of time. Whatever we earn on YouTube or from the ads, we just put it right back into our renovations.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we do. And as far as our other income, Lincoln retired early, so he's got a pension. You know, we're not living a lavish
No.
lifestyle.
Would you do a rundown on the equipment you use for filming, software you use for editing, and music selection?
I'm just keeping it basic, simple. Not to say I won't upgrade when I have like a month off, which I don't know when that's going to happen.
Well, you upgraded your computer recently.
Yes, I also got a new MacBook Pro, so that was a real treat. I'm pretty basic. I film on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I do everything with that simply because I've had bigger cameras in the past and I tend not to use them. It's almost like, ugh, I gotta get the camera out.
Yeah.
So the iPhone is just perfect for us right now. The same with the editing software. I need to do a deep dive into Final Cut Pro. I've worked on it before, and I'm just using iMovie right now. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
And for now, it's okay. Not saying that I'll always use that. As far as the music, I subscribe to a website called Epidemic Sound, and I have to pay a monthly fee, and they have royalty-free music, and that's what you hear on our channel.
And you choose it all.
Yeah, I'm basically in charge of the filming, editing, music. I've just started to fly the drone. That's why you haven't seen many crashes lately.
Well, that's our other piece of equipment too. We have a drone.
Yeah, we have a drone that's a DJI
Mini 4 Pro.
Mini 4 Pro. Yeah, and I guess I was always a little nervous about flying the drone because I saw you crash it so many times.
Oh, sure.
No. So I would say, Lincoln, this is the shot I want, and then I would get frustrated because you couldn't see the warped vision inside of my brain. So it's not that complicated to fly a drone. But we did get the upgrade where it has the sensor. It will notify you if you're about to hit into a tree. You could still crash it.
Well, yeah, I noticed that flying it near trees or the smaller branches, it doesn't really see those.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
So you really have to
still have to be careful.
Pay attention, and we have a lot of trees here, obviously. How long does it take to edit a video, and why don't you put out like 45-minute to an hour videos? A lot of channels can do that. It takes me a good day. There's more than a day preparation. There's the actual editing could take 10 hours, I suppose. You're a perfectionist with measurements. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to editing. Not that I'm like some wonderful filmmaker or anything, but I like to take my time and I like to do it the way I do it. You know, there's some people who could just film an entire vlog and just put it out without any cuts or edit.
Real time.
That's great. If they can do that, it probably saves them a ton of time. But I can't do that. You know, you have to design a thumbnail and that kind of
description, yeah.
gobbledygook. As far as putting out longer vlogs, I guess I'm a little bit afraid that you guys are going to get really bored with a 45-minute vlog. I mean, I see some other vloggers doing that, and I actually watch them. Who's the guy? Martin Doulard. He does like a really long 45-minute video. You know, I could start to edit a video and I'll have an hour and a half of footage, but a lot of it is garbage. And you just have to edit it down, and then it ends up 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 17 minutes, you know, so. My goal is to put out some longer videos. Let us know in the comments if you would watch a 45-minute vlog of the two of us. I don't know. Maybe I just get sick of seeing myself, you know, editing myself.
Yeah.
Does Lincoln ever lose his cool?
Of course not.
Yeah, he loses his cool. We both do.
Everybody does.
Yes, he does. Are the girls going to further their education somewhere in Europe, like Sweden, Norway, or Italy? Our oldest is not looking at Sweden, Norway, or Italy.
She's looking at Ireland, the Netherlands, maybe Scotland. She'd prefer to learn in English.
Yeah, our oldest will be attending college a year from now. Do you see yourself palling around with other Chatelaine YouTubers?
Well, I mean, I don't follow the stuff as much as you do, but...
And I don't follow it.
Yeah.
I'm sort of on the... it's like peripheral. I'll see things pop up in my feed.
It seems like most of them are Brits. All sort of know each other. It'd be nice to meet some people.
How did we meet? Was it love at first sight?
We were intrigued at first sight. Met through a mutual friend.
A mutual friend. And we've been together for a very, very long time. I was 18 when we met.
You know, you were 17, I think.
17. I was 17. That's when we first met. We didn't start dating until you were worried about getting arrested. I love the way you place the furniture outside. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
I don't have any inspiration for placing furniture. You
no,
usually
you're good. He's
you
good.
usually
He's good.
take you know, the lead, and then I'm like, well, maybe.
Yeah, he can suggest things, but I don't listen to him. No, you do. I do listen to him, just not all the time. But he has some good ideas, actually. Why don't we have a Patreon? So for those of you who don't know, a Patreon is this external website that a lot of creators, people who put crap on YouTube have used this external platform to put out extra content, and therefore people pay a monthly service charge to get this extra content. I think we did Patreon once for about 2 weeks, and it overwhelmed me.
Well, it felt
like...
You said it felt more like
a job.
You were obligated to do something rather than you were doing what you wanted to do. Yeah.
Which you are obligated because people are paying a monthly fee to see this extra content. I don't know, we might do it in the future if we have more subscribers and people are interested in the behind the scenes sort of thing. It might be fun to create different kinds of videos versus what we put out on YouTube for Patreon, but I don't know. We haven't thought about that. And quite frankly, I don't know that many people would sign up. I guess part of my fear is that we'd put a Patreon out and then we have like four people, and we'll see. It's not a yes or a no. Amanda, in a previous life you were a chef. Do you plan on showing a few dishes that you love to make for the family? Also, how do you have the energy to cook after long days of working outside? Yes, I do plan on doing some cooking segments. I have a little one coming up, and then once the cottage is done, I'll have my beautiful La Cornue, and I'll probably be doing maybe extra videos that's just cooking specific, or I don't know, but that will happen. How do I have the energy to cook? Well, I don't always have the energy to cook, and sometimes I don't, and I say, go help yourselves. It's pretty simple stuff that I cook. But when I do cook, they're very appreciative. I think it's because I don't cook very often.
It's very good.
So we got a nice card in the mail from, I think her name is Jan, from Kirkland, Washington. So thank you, Jan. She sent a very nice, lovely letter, and she included a picture of her cat, who she said he does have a spot on his nose, so they need to get that checked out, like our Mimi. But then, of course, there's always, you know, a few people who just want to rain on your parade and this one actually made me laugh because it was so stupid. Okay, are you ready? You lot can only be hardcore leftist fools who think we need to save the world. My advice is for you two to F off back to California or Oregon, saving stray cats and the music that you think makes you fit in to a younger generation. Yeah. Well, I guess we should be listening to Benny Goodman.
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. So thanks for that.
Fitting in has never been something that we really cared about.
But thank you again for all your questions, comments, and supporting our channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.